And you're very confident about this fight with GSP as well, obviously.
Well, obviously, it's going to happen.
No, but I mean in terms of how the fight would go.
I was confident about this fight. I'm confident about that fight.
Can you talk to us a little bit about that then?
It's 5 rounds with Nick Diaz. That's a long time to have that guy in a cage with you. You know what I mean? 3 rounds is long enough. 5 rounds is very tough. And I know GSP is a great athlete. He's a great black belt. But Nick Diaz is an animal. So I think that's going to be the biggest fight in the history of the UFC. I really do. So at least for me. What you guys saw tonight is 2 warriors fighting, the Hawaiian warrior and the Stockton guy, and that's the people now understand that and they want to see that. So George trying to play that game, A, it's going to backfire on him, and B, it's very hard to do that with Nick. You can't, he doesn't stay down, he moves constantly, and then you're in his world with jiu-jitsu, and I believe Nick is the better jiu-jitsu of the two. There's no question about it.
That's what I was going to ask, with him taking the Nick and playing in Nick's
He doesn't
guard.
care. Nick, you saw BJ couldn't do anything with Nick's guard. You have to get back up, that's the way it is.
And second, you talked about you trying to go ahead and mesh the boxing with your camp to go ahead and get the sparring. If you have a tough time getting sparring up there, have you ever looked into actually in Southern California?
We brought people up. Omar Henry, we've got all these guys that we have brought up. This camp was a tough one to do. They changed the opponent on us, so we have to bring up different types of sparring.
Styles, yeah.
B, we're frustrated with boxers in general sometimes because they don't want to spar. It's the craziest thing, In my school, everybody wants to spar constantly. They want to, but in boxing, and it's not. I'm not blaming the boxers. It's the trainers. You can't spar with him. You might not look good with an MMA guy. How will this? Boxing is very cultivated. It's very important how you look, and they're trying to make the big money. And in our camp, we don't really care how we look. We care how we fight when it's fight day. So we're frustrated. Nick didn't get the right boxing because of what happened.
Well, now you'll have time, right? With
for sure. Yeah, we're going to make the adjustments. And I think when Nick starts talking about compensation and everything, it's like a lot of boxers they'll box themselves for free, or they'll charge a certain camp X amount of money. All of a sudden, when it's to box in our camp, their money doubles or triples, and it just gets ridiculous. You know what I mean? He's trying to get around it in his own way. He doesn't see the stuff that we're doing, from a management perspective and everything. But it's difficult right now. It is.
Is that really what Nick was talking about with the whole frustration with camp? Because I think a lot of people they see that, they think you're.
But then he tried to clarify it, and he thinks he is by saying, no, I got a great type of guy. I got Jake Shields, Gilbert Melendez, Nate Diaz. He's got a top boxing coach. We've got a great jiu-jitsu program. But in order for us to make certain things happen, I mean, obviously people have to help a little bit too, and people don't necessarily want to go to Stockton and hang out and they want the big money for something like that, or they won't do it at all. Right. You know what I mean? That's the problem we have. The guy that went to the press conference didn't fight. That's all I got to say about it. Nick, he got kicked out. He's the bad guy. Look, you didn't go to your, what Nick called the beauty pageant. But come fight night, you guys saw what he's made of, and he showed up, and he did everything he had to. And the guys that made the press conference, they weren't here tonight. So you be the judge.
Do you think GSP was not injured?
I'm not going to say that. I have no idea. But I'm saying Nick was injured, and he still fought. Nick hurt his hamstring. He's got a knee injury. You know what I mean? There's this, that. I mean, these fighters, they train so hard that they're going to get the injuries and everything. But despite his injuries, that guy was here for the fans, and he's a warrior, just like BJ. I think people appreciate that. But, one guy jumping off the cage, running around, it makes us, it's disheartening is all I'm going to say about it. Nick's got to do that for sure. I'm not siding on him with that particular thing. I think he should have gone to the press conference. I think he's frustrated because I don't think he believed that they would have taken him out of the fight. He doesn't, they should have fined him, and I've said that before. I was so mad at Nick, and Nick's like family to me and everything. And I understood Dana. You guys saw the phone call or whatever. But I don't think he should have been pulled out of that fight. Now, in hindsight, I'm glad he did. I'm glad it happened because, look, GSP would have pulled out no matter what. Let's face it, okay? And, Nick got to fight tonight and got to show everybody what, I've said it so many times, what level he's at, and he is at that level. And I think tonight everybody got to see that. I don't think the fans care if he goes to a media press conference. I don't. They care if he does what he did tonight, and that's what he did. And the other guy didn't. That's all I'm saying.